Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How are you? This is Freddie Ewan, three-time GM of the Year, 2022 Pantheon Cup champion, the 2023 regular season champion, the 2024 Pantheon Cup runner-up, and of course, that host of that fantasy football show with Freddie Ewan. This is our premiere. It's August 1st, baby. Football is coming around the corner. It's right there. I'm paying my bets, as you can see. I just want to show everyone really quickly. Can you see it? I'm paying my bets. Jackson Dart jersey is on. Congratulations, Cousin Pat, the 2025 Pantheon Cup champion. More importantly, we have the greatest commissioner in fantasy football with us today, the owner of the greatest restaurant in the world, Mr. Rich Micheli. Rich, how are you?
Freddie, that is quite an introduction. Thank you. And don't sell yourself short on all your accolades. It keeps growing and growing, don't they?
There's gonna be a whole show of these accolades at some point. You know what I mean? I'm gonna have to trim it down or something. It was
Don't
a,
do that. It's it's
it was
it's
a
very
rough,
entertaining.
it was a rough last season for the Team of Destiny. The Team of Destiny did not make the playoffs for the first time in TPFFKAL history, and is going into this season in a little bit of a, not one of the favorites. Let's put it that way.
You were definitely a low salary this year, and I came out of it not in the playoffs, but with a high salary. So we'll see how we'll get back to this at the end of the season and see how we do.
So, the great thing about the TPFFKL, there's a lot of great things about this league. This league is, it's by far, I think it's everyone's favorite league to play in. Um, cousin Pat came in 2 years ago, wins the Pantheon Cup championship. Teji has moved up every year. I think Teji is actually my pick to win it all this year. Lots of competition. It's going to be another great year. I'm really looking forward to exciting times. J. Dot Brian McCluskey, who is in the probably be the first inductee to the TPFFK Hall of Fame, did this great thing with the schedule that we're going to show you in just a little bit. The first thing, let's go over a couple rule changes. What's new in the 2026 TPFFKAL season, Rich?
Fantastic, Freddie. Yeah, August 1st, training camps open. Very excited about that. Um, we have a couple rule changes to touch on for our league mates. Let me know when you can see.
I can see.
Okay, we increased the entry fee to 260 a season per team. $10 of that goes to the Empire Award. Cousin Pat is currently on the hot seat for that award. He's the only one that is available to win it this year. The award goes to the back-to-back champion, which we are in our sixth season and we do not have a back-to-back champion. Yours truly, inaugural champion. Yourself, Freddie, second year champion. Third year, James. Fourth year, Neil, to everybody's surprise. And Cousin Pat, proving you wrong in particular, but doing very well in his second season. So Cousin
And
Pat is on the hot seat for the Empire Award, which accumulates $120 a year until we have a back-to-back champion.
cousin Pat's probably got a little bit of an outside chance to he's got to put a lot more work in this year than he did last year because he had just so much cap room, but he did not spend a whole lot of cap to win the cup last year. So I mean, he's going to have a chance to win this. And I mean, I just think, it's almost like the NBA today, with the TPFFKL, there's a new winner every year. I think it's going to be very difficult to win back-to-back Pantheon Cups. If anyone can do it, it's probably me. But we'll see. It should be exciting.
Nobody's surprised you brought yourself up for that award. Yeah, of course. A couple of things. Keeper announcements must be made by Sunday, August 23rd. That is coming up. Uh, we have rescinded the minimum $1 bid for Fab, so you can do a $0 bid if you'd like. And then there was one more thing, Freddie. And we've changed the payout structure for the league, eliminating second high points for the year.
So, really quickly, let's just touch on this too. Keepers and whatnot. You have to keep three or four keepers.
Correct.
Everyone's been given the sheet on the keeper prices, how much cap. Can you just explain a little bit, because I know there was a little in the chat, how you can trade the salary cap you now have now to buy a current player. That salary cap will not go anywhere towards the keeper price. For instance, if I'm going to go out and buy a player for, if I'm going to make a trade and trade $6 in cap room, that cap room and the player $6 to keep, it's going to cost me $12. $6 is going to go to the player I traded with, and $6 is going to go to the player.
Correct. In essence, you're paying $12 once the keeper is made. Will come off your cap, and correct. We start with $200 cap, and then that is traded within players to improve your team or accumulate for this year.
And if nobody in the TPFFKAL knows by now, just to let you know, George Pickens is available. Contract year. George Pickens is available for trade. Go to www.sanpatriciorockThrowers.com for more information. But the guy who was I think it was a top 5 receiver last year, top 5 receiver, contract year, he is available for trade if you do not know yet.
I heard you made $1 million cap bid. So that was you're spending a lot of future years on that.
And here it is. This is, once again, this is it's not for most people who play fantasy football, this is not the most expensive league, but it's by far the most entertaining and the most fun. I think, one of the great things about this league was that we've really been able to do this, like there's almost like the NFL does a really good job of keeping things year round, almost with the combine, then the draft and free agency, and it's almost like there's always something going on year
Very
round
much so.
TPF with the NFL. And we've been able to do that to a point with the TPFFKAL, which is, it's pretty unheard of in fantasy football, which makes it pretty cool.
True. At the end of the year, we have a board meeting for any rule changes that were suggested, and then we do our year-end awards, and then we go into trading seasons. There's usually a couple trades early and then a couple right before the keeper designation.
I think trades are, I was looking at some teams, and there are some teams that do not have keepers right now. And that's if one more thing, if you can get into, I saw something as far as like a penalty if you do not have your keepers picked. If you do not have keepers, what can you explain that penalty a little bit?
Certainly, that comes from the year one where we had a situation that somebody did not share their keepers in time, so we came up with a rule for future years that we need those keepers in, or else you lose monetary amounts. Let me see if I can find that.
Was that a Doug rule?
It was a Doug rule, yes. What are you seeing on the screen, Freddie?
Trades. I just saw trades.
Okay.
Now I see fab keepers.
Yeah, keeper.
There's trades down just a little bit.
Late keeper penalty, $5 salary cap penalty per day that's late. Right here.
So, that's going to be very interesting, because there are some teams right now that you can keep anyone almost, but from the looks of it, they do not have a whole lot of viable keepers for a price. It's going to be a busy month. This is probably one of the best months for fantasy football when you get everything together and get everything going. Shout out to J Dot. What we're looking at right here is, I think he made this in the third year. I think he made this in the third year, but like I said, the guy's an Excel genius. He's helped me with my business with some of the Excel files he's made. He's helped to TPFFKAL with this. It's absolutely beautiful. This is the random schedule generator, and just go ahead and explain it to our GMs.
Certainly, we will randomize this 3 times. On the third time, I'll stop. That will be the schedule set. On the left here, you could see the teams are random placed. On the second list is the rivalry week matchups. And on the third is the season ending from last year. Jimmy, Pat, James, and Teji finished in the top third. They will be together. in a pot. Rich, Champ, Neil, and Devinder finish last. They will be in a pot together. Down here, after we randomize, these colors will be either red or black. If there's any purple, that means that teams play each other back to back. And we will randomize again until we do not have any purple showing on this screen, as this screen does not show any purple. Uh,
Let me just throw this in too. This is another great thing. How, so similar to the NFL. I don't see any other leagues doing it, but we're taking the scheduling where from the previous season standings groupings, just like the NFL does. If you finish less in the league, you, what we're basically trying to do is set you up with an easier schedule. If you finished in the top of the league, you're going to have a tougher schedule with tougher opponents. Doesn't necessarily always work because of the cap situations and whatnot. But just looking at this, I know that, Rich, I think you have one of the highest caps. I know Champ does. Don't forget about Bowser, man. Bowser made the playoffs last year, snuck in. He was my vote for the GM of the year. And he's got a ton of cap room too. I think Bowser's been he's been pecking at this championship for a long time. He's got to be one of the favorites too.
He has been, and he's a very good GM, very attentive. If you wanted the top caps, Devinder has 310. I have 288. Bowser has 286, and Champ has 213 on the high end.
Didn't Devinder have the top cap last year too?
I do not think that that is true.
He
No.
was, I think he was up there. He's been he's been struggling in the TPFFKL. He's taking over Doug's team going into his fifth year.
All right, I'm going to hit this random 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And I see week 1, Neil versus Jimmy at the top. And let's see if we have any conflicts. I do see a conflict here, Jimmy and Pat. So we're going to randomize again. 1 again. Let's see. There's still some conflict. We're going to do this again. Now I see Freddie and James, and I don't see any conflicts.
So this is the schedule, boys and girls.
Yeah, let's take a screenshot of this. Okay, I have that. All right, we can go on to the next topic. If you wanted to talk about some of these schedules.
Yeah, one more thing about the schedule, just a lot similar to the NFL. Wednesday is going to be, I think it's Wednesday this year, is going to be the NFL is going to kick off on a Wednesday night. And it's going to be a rematch of the Super Bowl between the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots. If you look at the TPFFKL, the first matchup is going to be Teji against Pat, the repeat of last year's Pantheon Cup championship. That might be an idea in the future. I think it just worked out that way, but maybe it's just an idea in the future to have maybe week 1 be a repeat of the Pantheon Cup championship. Some exciting things to get things going almost. Anything that I can take off of this schedule right now is, me and Jimmy are going to be matching up in week 2. Let's see. Rich is going to be matching up with Bowser week 3. That should be a good one. Cousin Pat's schedule is not going to be easy. He's got to play some really good GMs this year. He's got Teji, who's a really good GM, James, who's a really good GM, and Jimmy, who is a superb GM, has to play he's going to have to
play him twice.
Yeah, play them twice. That's a tough schedule, Cousin Pat. I believe in you now, man, but you're going to have to put a lot more work into it this year.
Yeah, looks good.
Beautiful. So that is the schedule. We're going to get everything out to you. We're not going to take up too much of the time on the show today. I want to bring everybody up to date on just a couple of exciting things that we're getting ready for in 2026. A couple league openings that we have. We are starting a no limit fantasy football league. I think we have 8 spots right now. We're looking for 4 more GMs. This is basically, we had a prototype league for a few years. We basically took all the flaws in that league and we're able to put this all together for the ultimate no limit fantasy football. We have a super flex league that is opened for any GMs that are interested. There's one spot. I think there's spots open for a guillotine league.
One spot open for a guillotine league. Yes.
One spot open for a guillotine. If you can't get anyone out playing it, it's like I'm sorry, but it's like I'm looking at there's a couple leagues where it's like, I'm in $100 league and a $200 league, and I feel like I've been in this league for like 15, 16 years. And it's like every year I'm like, I'm not gonna play in this league anymore. I'm not gonna play, and then I just end up playing in it. And it's just like I get to the point where it's just like, you know, I, I think I'm in six leagues, and I think five is probably the best one. But it's like, I mean, everyone is just like, God, Freddie, you need to get a life almost during football season because it's just like it's hard to do with all these different, league types and whatnot. Um, we're gonna put out
Yeah,
something.
but guillotine has come in very fast and hot, and it's a super fun uh, style of league. Do not finish last. Just be ahead
I
of the
think,
last.
yeah, I think what pissed me off in that league is, the first year we played it, I I I didn't even know how to play it. Did something stupid, and I got my ass kicked in the last game against you. It wasn't even close, and
Yeah, you had no cap to pick up the
yeah,
best players.
yeah,
Yeah,
I just got my ass handed to me. And then this year, I think it was, oh yeah, I know exactly what it was. CD Lamb got hurt in like the first. That's
yeah.
the tough thing about the guillotine league. If you get an injury in the middle of the game, it's really tough.
Early in a game, it's a crushing blow.
Yeah, that's something almost that, there's a lot of great things coming out with AI. I know that in the ESPN leagues, I don't know if it's on Yahoo, it might be, but like where you can almost where you can make sure that a team's roster is not defunct. They'll put in the players at the last minute if you haven't put them in. And we've hit a lot on that where we've seen defunct teams and whatnot. I'm just going to share this really quickly and just go over just a couple things before we say goodbye. But just share my screen. We are putting out the Ultimate Commissioner's Playbook, which is going to be basically just a basic guide for commissioners and what to do and how to be a great commissioner of your league and whatnot. It's hard being a commissioner. It takes experience, it takes expertise, and what it really takes is non-emotional decisions. Rich, you've done a good job. I always call you Commissioner Softee. Um, and you can be soft sometimes. And I think I got that name because I wanted someone to spend 24 hours at the Waffle House. And I think you originally were talking like 3 hours or something. I think that's how I got the name for you. But you've been a fantastic commissioner over the year. You've been organized. You have been put in situations where you've had to make tough decisions where people didn't always agree with you. But I think at the end of the day, I think I could speak for everyone in the league that they all have a respect for you, and I don't think there is anybody that can be the commissioner of this league besides you.
All right. Thank you, Freddie.
So
We've all had some minor issues as commissioner, but everybody's pretty understanding. I rule on the side of fun, Freddie. So I might be soft, but if it's fun, it has a lot of weight in my decision. And this Ultimate Commissioner playbook, I mean, it's got to be what, 79.95 for this thing? What are
yeah,
you looking for?
all you have to do is like and subscribe. You're gonna
What?
get this absolutely
That's
free.
impossible, Freddie.
Absolutely free. We're also coming out with the Freddie Ewan Fantasy Football Draft Guide and Season Guide. That's coming out soon. I love this AI stuff. Just to go over it very quickly, I'm just going to go over through it. But democracy in your league, votes on rules, saying the paying members vote. Commissioner holds the tiebreaker. The commissioner's job is always to be even keel and listen to the GMs. It's the GM's league. Non-emotional decisions. Know your league stakes.
This
Run
has
the
got a lot
$100
of good
league.
information, Freddie. Don't give it all away.
It's going to go all the way. I'm going to be giving this out. All you have to do is like and subscribe. It will be in your inbox, and you will get the ultimate commissioner's playbook. So that's it. That's the schedule. The TPFFKL ready to go. Rich, before you go, since we got you here, I just want to get we don't know who drafted who or whose team is what or whatnot yet. But if you were going to pick right now, who will be the 2026 Pantheon Cup winner? Who are you going to be betting your money on?
Cousin Pat will not repeat. I will throw my thoughts towards, if it's not myself, of course, I will throw it to Bowser.
Bowser. Bowser. So yeah, I think I got the same. Kind of similar. I don't think cousin Pat's gonna repeat either. Pat, I don't. I think it was Tito Santana who just inspired you all the way to win this thing. But hey, you're a winner. You won your bet. I'm wearing the dark jersey. Once again, my picks I think too are. I think Bowser has been sitting on this for a very long time. I think this is his year to have a good chance. And I mean that kid Teji is a beast at fantasy football too. I mean, he scares the crap out of me. I think Teji is going to be a very good, consistent TPFFKAL. The degenerate monkeys are going to be around consistently in this league.
Teji, it looks to me as though has 181 in cap, so just under the average, but still, that's pretty good to hold that amount and be in the championship game. So yeah, you're right. He's going to be a factor.
And it's like you look at a lot of these, cap is going up, it's +5 every year, but it's like, two guys in particular that I can just think of that are probably still fairly inexpensive is Puka. Puka was on the waiver wire.
Correct.
People who picked him up are in a keeper league are paying minimum for him. I think he's going fourth or fifth in most drafts. The other player who's going right before him, it's almost interchangeable, is Amon Ra, who same thing 5 years ago maybe was picked up off the waiver wire and now one of the top receivers in the league. So they're a little bit more expensive, but I think if you have two of those guys in any league, any keeper league, you're probably paying a really easy price for them and you're getting a top 5 NFL fantasy football player.
Yeah, definitely keeper and dynasty leagues are very fun like that. Adds another wrinkle to the fantasy football.
And before we go, one last thing, just want to give a shout out. If you are in the DC area, the Arlington area, the Portofino restaurant, how many years has the Portofino been there for?
Ready 56 years this
56
August. It is a
years.
great testament. Yes.
Rich, how old are you?
56.
56. So your grandfather opened the restaurant the
Yes.
first year you were born. Wow.
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. What do you feel in that place? I mean, you must feel like some kind of like nostalgia almost when you go into that place.
Yeah, very much so. History, nostalgia. It's all made by the employees, longtime employees and longtime customers, and it just feels so good like that.
That's awesome. I mean, it's an incredible story. And on top of that, the food is just absolutely phenomenal. I'm from New Jersey. It is very hard to find good Italian food in DC unless you go to the Portofino. It's it's right up there with a restaurant that would fall right in the middle of Brooklyn in Little Italy almost. It's a phenomenal restaurant, and I'm glad to be a part of it. Glad to know you, so I can get in there every now and then.
Yeah, what a great group we have. Thank you, Freddie.
Awesome. Thanks, Rich. Everyone, have a great day.
Let's do it.
Season.
Let's have a season.
Let's go, baby. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Later.